The crystal chandeliers blazed like captured stars. Mira kept her eyes down. Always down. She wove through the ballroom with a tray of champagne flutes, her movements practiced and precise. 17 years of invisible servitude had taught her the rhythm: arrive before you're needed, vanish before you're noticed. The Alpha King's birthday celebration filled the palace with dignitaries from every territory. Wolves in expensive suits. Alphas who could smell weakness like blood in water. She was good at not bleeding. A lord grabbed a glass without looking at her face. Perfect. Mira's gray servant's dress was deliberately drab, her brown hair scraped into a severe bun. She'd learned early that beauty drew attention. Attention drew questions. Questions drew death. The grand clock chimed 9. Her chest tightened. No, not tonight. The burning started in her veins, subtle as a whisper. She had maybe an hour, maybe less. More wine at table 7, the head servant hissed. Mira nodded and slipped toward the kitchens. Her hands trembled as she set down the tray. The burning intensified, spreading through her arms like liquid fire. The full moon was rising. She thought of her mother's face, silver blood pooling beneath her body. She thought of her father's howl, cut short by the hunter's blade. She thought of hiding in the root cellar while boots thundered overhead. Asterisk. 17 years ago, I was 5. Asterisk. The memory lived in her bones. Silver wolves hunted to extinction, burned, butchered. Legends whispered about in fear and greed. She was the last. She had to be. Mira grabbed a servant's cloak and slipped through the side exit. The palace garden sprawled in moonlit shadows, labyrinthine and vast. She'd mapped every corner over the years, finding the places no one went. The old fountain near the eastern wall. Crumbling stone, dried basin, forgotten. She stumbled toward it as the burning became agony. Her forearm split first. Not a wound exactly, the skin simply parted like a seam coming undone. Silver blood welled up, luminescent in the darkness. It didn't drip like normal blood. It flowed like mercury, like starlight made liquid. Mira bit down on her lip to keep from screaming. The second cut opened across her collarbone, then her thigh. Always the same 3 places, always during the full moon. She'd learned to bind them quickly, to hide the evidence before dawn. She yanked bandages from her cloak pocket with shaking hands. The silver blood hit the fountain stones. Where it touched, the old marble glowed faintly, beautiful and damning. 17 years, she whispered to herself. You've survived 17 years. Just bind it and... A shadow fell across the fountain. Mira's heart stopped. She looked up slowly, already calculating escape routes, already knowing it was too late. Alpha King Cassian stood 3 feet away. He was nothing like the distant figure she'd glimpsed at state functions. Up close, he was overwhelming, tall and broad-shouldered, with dark hair and eyes like amber fire. Power rolled off him in waves. Ancient. Absolute. Those eyes were fixed on the silver blood staining the fountain stones. Mira's mind went blank with terror. She should run, shift, fight. But her body wouldn't move. She was 5 years old again, hiding in the dark while her family died. Please! The word came out broken. Cassian didn't move, didn't speak. He just stared at the glowing blood as if seeing salvation or damnation, she couldn't tell which. The silence stretched like a blade against her throat. Then he crouched down, bringing himself closer to her level. The movement was careful, non-threatening. His gaze lifted from the blood to her face. How long? His voice was rough, barely controlled. I don't. How long have you bled, Silver? Mira's throat closed. This was it. 17 years of hiding, ending in a garden with a king who could kill her with one hand. Since I was 5, she whispered. Something flickered in his expression. Not disgust, not greed. Something that looked almost like wonder? You're real. He said it so quietly she almost missed it. The texts weren't lies. Her confusion must have shown because he stood abruptly, that overwhelming presence slamming back into place. Bind your wounds. It was a command, but not cruel. Quickly. Mira's hands moved on instinct, wrapping the bandages with practiced efficiency. The silver blood soaked through immediately, but the glow faded as her skin sealed itself. By dawn, there would be no scars. There never were. Cassian watched every movement. When she finished, he extended his hand. "Come with me." "Where?" Her voice was steadier than she felt. "My private chambers." Terror spiked again. "I'd rather die in the garden." His jaw tightened. "I'm not going to hurt you. I need your help. Everyone who knows what I am wants me dead." "I'm not everyone." He stepped closer, and she caught his scent, pine and smoke, and something wild. "I've been searching for you for 3 years. Well, not you specifically, but someone like you. A silver wolf." The words hung between them like a confession. "They're extinct," Mira said automatically. "Clearly not." His eyes held hers. "My sister is dying, a hereditary curse in my bloodline. The ancient texts say only silver wolf blood can break it. You're her only chance." Mira's mind raced. A trap. Had to be. But his desperation felt real. Raw in a way kings usually hid. "And if I refuse? Then Elena dies, and I've failed her." "No threat, just fact. But I'll still protect you. The knowledge of what you are dies with me." "Why would you do that?" He looked at the fountain stones, still faintly glowing where her blood had touched them. "Because you've been alone long enough." The words hit like a fist to her chest. Before she could respond, footsteps echoed on the garden path. Quick and purposeful. Cassian's entire body tensed. "Stay behind me." But it was too late. Queen Consort Liana emerged from the shadows like a ghost in silver silk. Beautiful and cold, with blonde hair that caught the moonlight. Her eyes found Mira immediately, and her expression darkened into something ugly. "So you finally found one." The words were ice. Cassian moved slightly, positioning himself between them. "Liana, this doesn't concern you." "Doesn't concern me?" The queen's laugh was sharp. "You bring a silver wolf into our home and think I wouldn't know?" Mira's blood turned cold. Asterisk. She knows. She knows what I am. Asterisk. Liana's gaze raked over her with pure contempt. "How long has she been hiding here? Months? Years?" 17 years. The words escaped before Mira could stop them. The queen's eyes widened, then narrowed. "Impossible! We killed them all." Asterisk, we, asterisk. The word landed like a death sentence. Mira looked at Cassian and saw the truth in his face he hadn't known. Whatever Liana had done, whoever she'd killed, the Alpha King had been kept in the dark. "What did you do?" Cassian's voice dropped to something dangerous. Liana lifted her chin. "What was necessary? What my family has always done. Silver wolves are abominations, Cassian. They corrupt alpha bloodlines, destroy pack hierarchies. The purge was mercy. You slaughtered children." I followed orders. The casual cruelty of it stole Mira's breath. This woman had helped murder her family, maybe held the blade herself. Cassian's power flooded the garden, oppressive and absolute. "Get out." "She can't help Elena," Liana said. "Silver wolf blood is poison, not cure. Whatever those texts promise is a lie designed to lure them out of hiding. If you let her touch your sister, Elena dies. And probably you along with her." I said, "Get out." For a moment, Mira thought Liana would argue. But even a queen didn't challenge an Alpha King's direct command. She turned with a swirl of silk, but paused at the garden entrance. "When this goes wrong," she said softly, "when Elena's blood turns black and she dies screaming, remember I warned you." Then she was gone. The silence felt suffocating. Mira waited for Cassian to change his mind, to see reason, to do what every instinct probably screamed at him to do, eliminate the threat. Instead, he turned back to her. "Did your family really hide you for 17 years? "They died hiding me." His expression cracked, just for a moment. Grief, recognizing grief. "Then let me do what they started," he said quietly. "Let me keep you safe. And if your queen is right, if I kill your sister, then at least Elena dies with hope instead of slowly fading." He extended his hand again. "Please, I'm not ordering you as a king. I'm asking you as a brother who's out of options." Mira looked at his hand, at the garden where she'd bled, at the palace where she'd hidden for 17 years. She thought of her mother's last words. Asterisk, survive. No matter what. Survive. Asterisk. But maybe surviving wasn't enough anymore. Maybe it was time to live. She took his hand. His grip was warm, steady, and for the first time in 17 years, Mira didn't feel alone. "Lead the way," she said. Cassian's expression shifted into something almost like relief. "Stay close, and trust me." Trust. Such a dangerous word. But as they walked back toward the palace, her hand still in his, Mira realized she was about to do something impossibly foolish. She was about to trust an Alpha King. Chapter 2. The Alpha's Demand. The palace corridors felt different when walking beside a king. Servants pressed themselves against walls as they passed. Guards snapped to attention. Mira kept her hood up, her hand still enclosed in Cassian's grip. His touch was warm, grounding her spiraling thoughts. Asterisk. Liana knows. The Queen knows what I am. Asterisk. We use the private passages, Cassian said, guiding her down a side hallway. Fewer eyes. He pressed a carved rose in the wall panel. Stone groaned and shifted, revealing a narrow staircase lit by dim sconces. The passage smelled of old wood and secrets. Mira followed him up 3 flights. Her wounds ached beneath the bandages, a dull throb that reminded her how exposed she was, how stupid this was. "How long has your sister been sick?" she asked. 4 years. She was 12 when it started. "What are the symptoms?" Cassian's shoulders tensed. Fever that never breaks, bleeding from her eyes when she sleeps. Her wolf won't surface, it's trapped inside, clawing at her from within. The healers say her body is rejecting her own nature. That's not a curse, that's bloodline corruption. He stopped at a reinforced door, producing a key from his pocket. "I know, but the texts call it a curse because it's been in my family for 12 generations. Every 3rd or 4th child develops it. Most die before their 20th birthday. And silver wolf blood is supposed to cure it? Purify it." He unlocked the door. The texts are ancient, written in the old language. But the translation is clear: silver wolves can cleanse corrupted alpha bloodlines. The door opened into a sitting room that screamed wealth and isolation. Dark wood furniture, leather-bound books, a fireplace cold despite the chill. No personal touches, no warmth. A king's prison, just prettier than hers. Cassian locked the door behind them and finally released her hand. She immediately felt the loss of contact, which terrified her more than anything else tonight. "Sit," he said, gesturing to a chair. "Please." Mira sat. Her body screamed at her to run, but her mind calculated odds. If he wanted her dead, she'd already be dead. If he wanted her captured, guards would be flooding in. He wanted something else. Something he'd been searching 3 years to find. Cassian poured 2 glasses of amber liquid from a crystal decanter. He offered her one. "I don't drink." "It's not poisoned." He took a sip from his own glass, then switched them. "Better?" She accepted the glass but didn't drink. "Why would you poison me when you need my blood?" "Smart." He settled into the chair across from her, exhaustion creeping into his posture. For the first time, he looked human. Vulnerable. "How much do you know about silver wolves?" "Only what my mother told me before she died. We're rare, powerful, hunted." "You're more than that." He leaned forward. "Silver wolves are genetic anomalies, throwbacks to the original wolf bloodline before alphas emerged and the hierarchy corrupted everything. Your blood carries the template of what we all used to be. That's why they killed us. That's why they times feared times you." His amber eyes caught the firelight. Silver wolves could challenge any alpha, break pack bonds, restructure hierarchies just by existing. "You're walking revolution, Mira." Hearing her name from his lips sent a shiver down her spine. "Then helping you is suicide," she said. "Once word spreads that I exist, it won't spread. I'll make sure of it. Your queen already knows." His jaw clenched. "Liana won't talk. She can't afford to." "Why?" "Because if she admits she helped massacre silver wolves, every pack in the territories will question her bloodline's legitimacy. Her family built their power on that purge." He drained his glass. "She's trapped by her own crimes." Mira studied him. "You didn't know." "Not until tonight," bitterness edged his voice. "I was 17 when the purge happened, away at the Northern Territories learning diplomacy. By the time I returned, it was over. They told me silver wolves were myth, that the few attacks on remote packs were just rogues. You believed them. I was a child playing at being a king. He set down his glass with too much force. My father died when I was 19. I inherited a throne, a dying sister, and a marriage contract I couldn't break without starting a war. Lyanna's family controls the Eastern Territories. Refusing the match would have meant civil war. Mira heard the cage, in his words. Different bars than hers, but still a cage. How old is Elena now? She asked. 16. She has maybe 6 months left. His voice cracked. She asks me every day if it will hurt when she dies. What am I supposed to tell her? The raw pain in his question hit Mira like a physical blow. She thought of her own sister, dead at 7. She'd asked the same thing. Asterisk. Will it hurt, Mira? When the hunters come? Asterisk. I'll help, Mira heard herself say. Cassian's head snapped up. Just like that? No, not just like that. She met his gaze. But I watched my family die protecting me. If I can stop someone else from losing their sister, she swallowed hard, then maybe they didn't die for nothing. Something shifted in Cassian's expression. Gratitude, yes, but something deeper. Something that made her pulse quicken. What do you need from me? He asked quietly. Protection. For real. Not just pretty words. You have it. And answers, about the ritual, about what happens after, if she survives. You'll have them. All of them. And if this is a trap, Mira let the threat hang unfinished. Then I'll deserve whatever you do to me. He stood, moving to a bookshelf. He pulled down a leather-bound tome, ancient and cracking. This is the text I found. It's incomplete, but it describes the ritual. You should read it before you decide. He handed her the book. The leather was warm, as if recently held. Pages marked with ribbons. Notes in the margins in a desperate, messy hand. He'd been studying this for years. Searching for her for years. Mira opened to a marked page. The text was old script, barely readable, but someone had translated it in careful notation. Asterisk. The silver one must give freely of her blood under the full moon. 3 drops upon the tongue of the afflicted. The corruption will rise and be judged. If the cursed is worthy, they shall be cleansed. If not, both shall perish in silver fire. Asterisk. Both, Mira whispered. If she's not worthy, we both die. Yes. And you still want me to try? Cassian's expression was steel. Elena is the best person I know. If anyone is worthy, it's her. That's not how curses work. Worthiness isn't about being good. Then what's it about? Mira traced the ancient text. Intention, truth. Whether the corruption is internal or external. She looked up. Does your sister want to live? Of course she does. You sure? 4 years of pain. Watching herself die slowly. Sometimes people get tired, Cassian. Sometimes they're ready to let go. His face went pale. She wouldn't. Ask her. Before I risk both our lives, make sure she actually wants to be saved. Silence stretched between them. Then footsteps echoed outside the door. Sharp heels on marble. Cassian moved instantly, positioning himself between Mira and the entrance. The door swung open without knocking. Queen Lyanna stood in the doorway, still in her silver gown. But she'd removed her jewelry, her mask of royal composure. What remained was cold fury. So you've finally found one, she said, eyes locked on Mira. The words echoed from the garden, but heavier now, more dangerous. Cassian's power flooded the room. I don't recall inviting you. This is still my palace. Lyanna stepped inside, closing the door. That thing doesn't belong here. Her name is Mira. Her name is irrelevant. She's an abomination. Lyanna's gaze raked over her. I can smell it on her. Silver wolf. I should have known when you pulled her from the gardens. Mira stood slowly. You were there. 17 years ago. Lyanna smiled. Eastern territory, wasn't it? Small pack, thought they could hide in the mountains. Your mother fought well. Nearly took my father's eye. The room tilted. Mira's nails dug into her palms, claws threatening to emerge. Your father led the purge, she said through gritted teeth. My father saved the territories from chaos. Lyanna's smile vanished. Silver wolves are genetic poison. You destabilize pack structures, challenge alpha authority, breed weakness into strong bloodlines. The purge was necessary. The purge was genocide. Semantics. Cassian's voice dropped to something lethal. Get out, Lyanna, now. So, you can let her kill Elena? The queen laughed, brittle and sharp. That's your plan? Trust ancient texts written by wolves who are extinct for a reason. The texts are clear. The texts are propaganda. Lyanna turned on him. Silver wolves wrote them to lure desperate alphas into trusting them. Then they corrupted entire bloodlines from within. It's what they do, Cassian. It's what they are. Mira felt the words like blows. Old accusations. Old fears. The same justifications that had murdered her family. If you believed that, Cassian said coldly, you would have reported her the moment you saw her, but you haven't. Which means you're afraid of something. Lyanna's mask cracked. I'm afraid of you making a mistake that destroys everything. Or you're afraid she'll succeed. His eyes narrowed. If Elena is cured, I won't need your family's healers anymore. I won't need your political alliances. I won't need you. The truth hung between them like a blade. Lyanna's expression hardened into something ugly. If you do this, Cassian, if you let that creature touch Elena, I'll consider it an act of war against my family, against the Eastern Territories. Then I guess we're at war. The queen's face went white, then red, then carefully, deliberately blank. So be it. She looked at Mira one last time. When Elena dies screaming, and she will, remember, I tried to stop you. She swept from the room, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the windows. Mira exhaled shakily. She's going to have me killed. She's going to try. Cassian moved to the window, watching Lyanna's retreat across the courtyard below. But she'll be subtle about it. Public assassination would raise too many questions. That's not comforting. He turned back to her. You're under my personal protection now. That means something. For how long? As long as you need it. He crossed to her, stopping close enough that she had to tilt her head back to meet his eyes. I made you a promise, Mira. I intend to keep it. The intensity in his gaze made her breath catch. This close, she could smell him pine and smoke and power. Feel the heat radiating from his skin. Why? She whispered. Why risk everything for a sister you might lose anyway? Because she's the only family I have left. His voice was raw. And because watching her die while I do nothing would kill me slower than any curse. Mira understood that. The helplessness. The desperate need to act, even if action meant destruction. When's the next full moon? She asked. 3 days. Then we have 3 days to prepare. She stepped back, needing distance. I'll need supplies, protection during the ritual, and somewhere to stay where Lyanna can't reach me. You'll have all of it. Cassian moved to his desk, pulling out parchment. I'll arrange quarters in the east wing. Guarded. Warded. No one gets in without my permission. The east wing is where the royal family lives. Exactly. Safest place in the palace. Or the most dangerous. He looked up, something almost like a smile crossing his face. You're thinking like someone who's survived 17 years in hiding. Good. Keep thinking that way. Mira watched him write, his hands steady despite everything. A king protecting a monster. A brother risking his kingdom for his sister. An alpha who might be the first decent man she'd met in 17 years. Or the most convincing liar. She touched the bandages under her sleeve, feeling the dried silver blood crack against her skin. Cassian, she said quietly. He looked up. If this ritual kills Elena, I won't survive it anyway. The text was clear. I know. And you're still willing to risk it? His amber eyes held hers. Are you? Mira thought of her mother's dying words, of 17 years hiding, of a 16-year-old girl bleeding from her eyes every night. Yes, she said. I'm willing to risk it. Then we start tomorrow. He finished writing and sealed the parchment. Get some rest. You're going to need it. As if rest were possible. As if anything would ever be simple again. But Mira nodded and let him lead her through more hidden passages to a suite of rooms that had probably cost more than her entire life. When the door closed and the guards took position outside, she finally let herself collapse. 3 days until the full moon. 3 days until she saved Elena or killed them both. 3 days until Lyanna made her move. Mira touched the book Cassian had given her, tracing the ancient script. Asterisk. The corruption will rise and be judged. Asterisk. She just hoped they were all ready for the judgment. Chapter 3. The Poisoned Court. Mira's new quarters had windows that didn't lock from the outside. That was the first thing she checked. The second was the distance to the ground 3 stories, survivable if she shifted. The third was the guards stationed at her door. Not prisoners, protectors. She didn't trust the difference. Dawn light streamed through silk curtains as a servant brought breakfast on a silver tray. Real silver that made Mira's skin prickle with recognition. The girl wouldn't meet her eyes. Word travels fast, Mira said. The servant jumped. I don't know what you mean, miss. You're terrified of me. That means someone's been talking. The girl's hands shook as she set down the tray. They say you're the king's new companion, that he moved you into the royal wing overnight, that the queen is furious. Companion. The word dripped with implications. And what do you think? Mira asked. I think, the girl swallowed, I think you must be very brave or very foolish to make an enemy of Queen Liana. She fled before Mira could respond. Mira stared at the untouched breakfast. Poison would be too obvious. But there were subtler ways to kill someone in a palace. A knock at the door made her tense. It's Cassian, his voice came through the wood. May I enter? As if she could refuse a king. Come in. He entered alone, dressed in simpler clothes than last night. Dark pants, a white shirt with the sleeves rolled up. He looked tired, shadows under his eyes. You didn't sleep, she observed. Neither did you, he gestured to the untouched bed. I can smell your anxiety from here. Hard to sleep when half the palace wants me dead. Only half? We're making progress. His attempt at humor fell flat. Elena wants to meet you. Before the ritual. Mira's stomach clenched. When? Now if you're willing. She's in the medical wing. Has to stay there most days, she's too weak to move around much. The weight of what she'd agreed to crashed down on Mira, a dying girl, a desperate brother, a ritual that could kill them both. What if I can't save her? The question escaped before she could stop it. Cassian's expression softened. Then at least she'll have met someone who tried. They walked through corridors buzzing with whispers. Servants stopped talking when they passed. Nobles stared openly. A lady in green silk actually gasped, clutching her pearls. They think we're lovers, Mira muttered. Let them think it. Gives us cover for keeping you close. And when Liana uses it against you? She's already against me. Might as well give her something real to fear. The medical wing smelled of herbs and sickness. Healers in white robes moved between rooms, their expressions grave. One saw Cassian and immediately bowed. Your Majesty, Lady Elena is awake. Lady, not princess. Interesting. Cassian led Mira to a private room at the end of the hall. Guards flanked the door, but they stepped aside without question. The room was bright, filled with flowers and books, attempting cheerfulness in the face of death. Elena sat propped against pillows, and Mira's breath caught. She was beautiful, 16 but looking younger, with Cassian's dark hair and pale skin that seemed almost translucent. Her eyes were striking, one amber like her brother's, one silver gray. Heterochromia? Or something worse? You must be Mira, Elena said. Her voice was soft, musical. Cassian said you were pretty. He didn't say you were terrified. Mira blinked. I'm not. You are. I can smell it. Fear and determination in equal measure. Elena smiled. It's okay. I'm terrified too. Cassian moved to his sister's bedside, taking her hand. How are you feeling? Like death warmed over. The usual. Elena's gaze never left Mira. Come closer, please. I want to see you properly. Mira approached slowly. Up close, she could see the signs, veins too dark beneath the skin. A slight tremor in Elena's hands. The way she breathed too carefully, as if each breath might be her last. You're a silver wolf, Elena said. Not a question. Yes. I've read about your kind. The texts say you're myths, legends, too powerful to exist. We existed. Your people made sure we didn't anymore. Elena flinched. I'm sorry. For what was done to you, to your family. The apology, genuine and unprompted, caught Mira off guard. You didn't do it. My bloodline did. That makes it my burden too. Elena's silver eye seemed to glow faintly. Cassian says you'll try to help me, even though it might kill you. Yes. Why? Mira thought about lying, decided on truth. Because I'm tired of hiding, and because watching your brother beg was uncomfortable. Elena laughed, then coughed. Blood flecked her lips. Cassian grabbed a cloth instantly, wiping it away with practiced gentleness. When the coughing subsided, Elena looked at Mira with unsettling intensity. I have a request. Anything, Cassian said immediately. Not you, her. Elena's gaze pinned Mira. If the ritual fails, if I die, don't let Cassian blame himself. He's been dying with me for 4 years. Promise me you'll make him live. The request was impossible, intimate, the kind of thing you only asked someone you trusted completely. They'd known each other 3 minutes. I promise, Mira heard herself say. Elena smiled, radiant despite the blood. Good. Then let's do this ritual before I lose my nerve. Tonight, Cassian said, under the full moon. It has to be exact timing. Tonight then. Elena settled back against her pillows, exhaustion evident. Leave me now, both of you. I need to rest before I either live or die spectacularly. Cassian kissed her forehead. Mira turned to leave, but felt Elena's hand catch hers. Thank you, the girl whispered, for trying. The gratitude burned worse than the curse. Lord Veron found them in the hallway. He appeared like smoke, materializing from a side corridor, tall and gaunt, with silver hair and eyes like frozen lakes. Lyanna's chief advisor, her attack dog. Your Majesty, his bow was precise, empty of warmth. I heard we have a guest. This doesn't concern you, Veron, Cassian said coldly. Anything involving Lady Elena concerns me. I've been monitoring her condition for years. Those frozen eyes fixed on Mira. And who might you be? None of your business. Veron smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. A servant girl moved into royal quarters overnight. The king personally guarding her. The queen furious. Oh, it's very much my business. Back off, Cassian growled. Of course, Your Majesty. I simply wanted to welcome our guest. He tilted his head, studying Mira like a specimen. Though I must say, you look familiar. Have we met before? No? Perhaps you remind me of someone. I have an excellent memory for faces. And bloodlines. He produced a handkerchief, dabbing at his nose. Excuse me, I've been researching in the archives all morning. Terribly dusty down there. He walked away, footsteps silent on the marble. Mira's skin crawled. He knows. He suspects. There's a difference. Not for long. You saw how he looked at me. Cassian's jaw tightened. Stay close to the guards. Don't go anywhere alone. Veron is dangerous. More dangerous than the queen who wants me dead? Lyanna wants you gone. Veron collects information like weapons. If he discovers what you are, he'll use it for maximum damage. As if summoned by speaking her name, Lyanna appeared at the far end of the corridor. She stopped when she saw them, fury radiating from her like heat. Then she smiled, sweet and venomous. She turned and walked away without a word. That was worse than threats, Mira said. She's planning something. I know. The day crawled toward evening. Mira spent it studying the ritual texts, memorizing every word. The instructions were clear, but ominous. Asterisk. 3 drops upon the tongue. The corruption will rise. Both must endure the judgment. Asterisk. What did judgment look like? Pain, fire, death. At sunset, Cassian came for her. It's time. They walked to Elena's room in silence. The full moon was rising, visible through the windows. Mira felt the familiar burn starting in her veins. Elena waited in a ritual chamber adjacent to the medical wing. Candles flickered. Ancient symbols marked the floor in chalk. She wore a simple white gown and looked like a sacrifice. Maybe they both were. Ready? Elena asked. No, Mira admitted. You? Terrified. Let's begin before I lose my nerve. Cassian stood at the perimeter, jaw clenched. 4 healers waited nearby, their expressions skeptical. Mira took the ritual blade from the altar. Silver, naturally. It would hurt. 3 drops, she said. No more. She cut her palm. Silver blood welled up, glowing in the candlelight. The healers gasped. Impossible, one whispered. Mira held her hand over Elena's upturned face. The girl's eyes were trusting, hopeful. One drop fell onto her tongue. 2, 3. Elena's eyes rolled back. Her body convulsed, back arching off the floor. Black veins spread across her skin like poison. She screamed a sound of pure agony. "Stop it!" Cassian lunged forward. The healers grabbed him. The ritual must complete. Elena's screaming intensified. Blood poured from her eyes, her nose, her ears. Not red blood, black. Corruption made manifest. But something was wrong. Mira tasted it, smelled it. This wasn't the curse rising. This was different. "She's been poisoned," Mira said. "This isn't the ritual. Someone tampered." Elena's heart stopped. The flatline sound from the monitoring equipment was deafening. "No!" Cassian broke free, dropping to his sister's side. Elena, stay with me." The healers swarmed. Healing magic flared. But Elena's skin was turning gray, dead gray. Mira stood frozen, silver blood still dripping from her palm. This couldn't be happening. The ritual was supposed to. Guards burst through the door. "Seize her!" The lead guard pointed at Mira. "By order of Queen Liana, she's under arrest for attempted murder of Lady Elena." Cassian roared. "Stand down!" "I'm sorry, Your Majesty. The Queen Consort's orders supersede. I am your king." But there were 6 guards and one of him. They grabbed Mira's arms, yanked them behind her back. Silver-lined chains snapped around her wrists, burning her skin. "Cassian," Mira struggled. "Listen to me." The ritual was sabotaged. Someone poisoned. A guard struck her across the face. The world tilted. Through blurred vision, she saw Cassian being held back by 3 guards. Saw Elena's body on the floor, healers working desperately. Saw Liana standing in the doorway, expression perfectly crafted into shock and grief. "Take her to the dungeons," the queen said softly. "Let's see if silver wolves bleed when they're properly questioned." They dragged Mira from the room. The last thing she saw was Cassian's face, devastation and doubt warring in his expression. He didn't know who to believe anymore. And Mira realized with horrifying clarity, she'd just become exactly what Liana needed. A monster who killed the king's beloved sister. The perfect scapegoat. The dungeon doors slammed shut with the finality of a tomb. Chapter 4. Silver Fire. The dungeon walls wept with moisture. Mira sat in darkness, silver-lined chains burning her wrists. The guards had beaten her, not severely, but enough to make a point. Her ribs ached, her lip was split. She could taste blood. Her own blood. Red, not silver. Even her body knew she was dying. 3 days. That's what the guard had said. 3 days until her execution. Public, brutal. A warning to anyone who dared threaten the royal family. Footsteps echoed down the stone corridor. Too light for guards, too purposeful for servants. Cassian emerged from the shadows. He looked wrecked. Eyes red-rimmed, jaw clenched, still wearing the same clothes from the ritual. He carried no torch. His wolf eyes glowed faintly amber in the dark. "You shouldn't be here," Mira said. "Probably not." He approached the cell bars slowly, as if she might bolt. "The guards think I'm inspecting the prisoner, making sure you're secure." "Am I?" His gaze traveled over her chains, her bruises. His expression darkened. "Who hit you?" "Does it matter?" "Yes." "Why? I'm dead in 3 days anyway." Cassian flinched. "Elena's alive." Mira's heart stopped. "What?" "She's alive. Still critical, but alive." Her heart restarted after 5 minutes. "The healers can't explain it." He gripped the bars, "which means this isn't a murder charge anymore, just attempted. Still a death sentence. Liana's pushing for it. Says you're too dangerous to live. Half the council agrees." His voice dropped. "I can't stop her, Mira. Not without proof you were sabotaged." "And do you believe I was?" Silence stretched between them. "I don't know," he admitted. "I want to. But I saw Elena dying. Saw the black corruption spreading. Your blood was supposed to heal her. Not, it wasn't my blood." His eyes snapped to hers. What? Think about it, Cassian. I cut my palm in front of everyone. They all saw silver blood. But Elena's reaction, that wasn't silver wolf magic. That was poison. Someone switched it. How? You held your hand over her yourself. I don't know. But someone did. Mira leaned forward despite the chains burning deeper. You said you've been searching for silver wolves for 3 years, finding ancient texts. Why? I told you, to save Elena. No, before that. Why did you start looking? Cassian hesitated. I found my father's journals after he died. He'd been researching silver wolves, obsessed with them. He believed they were the key to purifying our bloodline. And he died before he could find one. Hunting accident, they said. His jaw clenched. But I found blood on his journals. Silver blood. Like he'd been close to something. Mira's breath caught. You think he found a silver wolf? I think he found evidence of one. And I think someone killed him for it. Liana. Her family. Cassian pulled a folded paper from his pocket. I found this tonight, in Liana's private study. She didn't know I had the key. He passed it through the bars. Mira unfolded it with shaking hands. It was a letter, old and creased. The handwriting was elegant, cold. Asterisk, Lord Commander, the Eastern Territory sweep is complete. 15 silver wolves confirmed dead. 3 escaped toward the northern mountains. Continue pursuit. Leave no survivors. The bloodline must end. Asterisk. Lady Morgana Castell, Liana's mother. This is dated 17 years ago, Mira whispered. This is your family. The paper trembled in her hands. 15 confirmed dead. Her parents, her grandparents, her uncles and aunts, her sister, all listed like hunting trophies. 3 escaped, Cassian said quietly. You were one of them. I was 5. I hid in a root cellar while they slaughtered everyone above me. The memory crashed over her, screaming, silver blood pooling between floorboards. Her mother's final howl. I stayed there for 2 days. Didn't move. Barely breathed. When I finally came out, they were all dead. How did you survive? A servant found me. Old woman, mostly blind. She didn't know what I was, just saw a terrified child, and hid me in a supply cart leaving the territory. Mira's voice cracked. I've been running ever since. Different packs, different territories, always moving. Until I found the palace. Figured the last place they'd look for a silver wolf was in the king's own house. 17 years, Cassian breathed. You've been alone for 17 years. Survival isn't pretty. It's not brave. It's just continuing. He reached through the bars, fingers brushing her cheek. The touch was gentle, careful of her bruises. I'm sorry, he said, for what they did, for what my kingdom did. You didn't do it. My people did. My wife's family did. His thumb traced her split lip. I should have known, should have questioned why silver wolves went extinct so conveniently, why the texts all disappeared. You were a child. I'm not anymore. His touch lingered. Mira's pulse jumped despite the pain, despite the chains, despite everything. This was dangerous. This feeling, this connection. Cassian, she whispered, you need to leave. If Liana finds you here, let her. His eyes blazed. I'm done playing her games. She'll use this against you, against Elena. Elena's dying anyway. The healers say she has days, maybe hours. The shock to her system was too much. His voice broke. I've already lost her, Mira. I'm not losing you too. You barely know me. I know enough. The cell door suddenly groaned. Not opening, unlocking. Cassian spun, power flooding the corridor. A figure emerged from the shadows. Small, fragile, impossibly alive. Elena? Cassian breathed. She looked like death walking, pale skin, dark veins still visible beneath the surface, silver eye glowing brighter than before, but she was standing, moving, alive. Hello, brother. Her voice was stronger than it should be. We need to talk. You should be in bed, the healers said. The healers don't know what I am. Not really. Elena moved past Cassian to the cell bars. She looked at Mira with something like recognition. Hello again. How are you alive? Mira asked. Because you didn't poison me, but someone tried to. Elena pulled a small vial from her gown pocket, dark liquid, viscous and wrong. This was hidden in the ritual chalice, meant to mix with your blood. Cassian took the vial, sniffing it. His face went white. Nightshade. And something else. Something I don't recognize. Corrupted wolf essence, Elena said. I found references to it in the old texts. It mimics silver blood but turns toxic on contact with alpha bloodlines. Someone wanted the ritual to fail spectacularly. Liana, Mira said. Or Veron. Or both. Elena produced a key, unlocking the cell. But here's what they didn't know. I switched the blood. Cassian stared. What? During the ritual, when Mira cut her palm, I used a substitute I'd prepared. Regular silver, melted and treated to glow like her blood. I wanted to test if someone would sabotage it. You risked your life on a theory? Cassian's voice rose. I was dying anyway. Might as well die learning the truth. Elena's smile was sharp. And look, we caught them. The poison reacted with the fake blood and nearly killed me. But it also confirms someone in this palace wants silver wolves dead badly enough to murder me in the process. Mira stepped from the cell, chains still on. You've been recovering since the ritual. Slowly, painfully, but yes. Elena touched her chest. Something changed when your real blood touched my skin. Just the splash from the cut. It wasn't enough for the full ritual. But it was enough to stabilize something. Like my wolf finally recognized what it was supposed to be. The curse is breaking, Mira realized. Not broken, but breaking. I can feel it. Elena swayed, and Cassian caught her. Which means we were right. Silver blood can purify the bloodline. We just need to complete the ritual properly. No, Cassian said firmly. You almost died. I'm not risking you again. It's not your choice. You're my sister, and I'm tired of being treated like glass. Elena's silver eye flared. I've been dying for 4 years, Cassian. 4 years of pain and fear and watching you sacrifice everything trying to save me. If there's a chance, even a small one, I'm taking it. Alarm bells suddenly rang through the palace. They found the empty cell, Mira said. Cassian moved instantly, positioning himself between the women and the corridor. Elena, can you walk? I can run if I have to. Good, because we're leaving. Now. Where? Mira asked. The old library, Northwest Tower. It's been sealed for decades. No one goes there. We can hide while I figure out our next move. Cassian. Elena grabbed his arm. There's something else. The texts I found, they mentioned silver wolves weren't just healers. They were hunters. They could sense corruption in bloodlines. Smell it. Track it. What are you saying? Elena looked at Mira. I'm saying she's been living in a palace full of corrupted wolves and didn't even know she was hunting. Footsteps thundered from both directions. Move. Cassian grabbed Mira's still-chained wrists, snapping the silver bonds with raw strength. Her skin was burned raw, but free. They ran. The secret passages were older than the current palace. Stone corridors carved into the mountain itself, predating the kingdom. Cassian navigated them from memory, Elena stumbling but keeping pace. Mira brought up the rear, her senses screaming. Someone's following us, she said. Guards? No, something else. The passages narrowed, twisted. Cassian pulled them through a hidden door into what looked like an abandoned library. Dust covered everything. Books lined the walls, floor to ceiling, ancient and crumbling. We're safe here, Cassian said. For now. He was standing too close. Mira felt it a pull she'd never experienced. Magnetic, primal. Her wolf recognized his wolf. Asterisk. Mate. Asterisk. The word echoed through her blood like a thunderclap. No. Impossible. Mira? Cassian's voice was rough. What's wrong? Nothing. I'm fine. But she wasn't. Her skin felt too tight. Her pulse too fast. Every breath carried his scent pine and smoke, and something wild that made her wolf want to submit and dominate in equal measure. Elena watched them with knowing eyes. Oh, that's inconvenient. What? Cassian asked. The mate bond. It's triggering. I can see it. Elena settled into a dusty chair. Silver wolves bond differently than normal wolves. Faster, stronger, and usually at the worst possible times. I'm married, Cassian said roughly. To a woman who's trying to kill us. I don't think the bond cares about legal paperwork. Mira forced herself to step back. This isn't we can't. I know, but Cassian's eyes were doing things that contradicted his words. Liana and I. It was arranged. Political. I've never touched her beyond what duty required. She sleeps in separate quarters. Lives a separate life. That doesn't matter. It matters to me. He moved closer despite everything. I've been trapped in that marriage for 8 years. 8 years of pretending. Playing the dutiful king while my sister dies and my wife plots. A howl shattered the air. Not human. Not wolf. Something else entirely. Elena went pale. That's not possible. What is it? Mira asked. Old magic. Corrupted magic. The kind that shouldn't exist anymore. The library doors exploded inward. Lord Veron stood in the wreckage. But he wasn't human anymore. He'd shifted into something massive, a wolf the size of a horse, black as midnight with eyes that glowed red. Corruption radiated from him like heat, making the air shimmer. Clever girl, Veron's voice rumbled from the beast's throat. Finding the old texts, learning the truth, but it won't save you. Cassian shifted instantly. His wolf was large, powerful, pure alpha. But Veron was larger. You're not a normal wolf, Mira breathed. No. Veron's red eyes fixed on her. I'm what happens when wolves live too long. Accumulate too much power. Become something more. You orchestrated the purge, Elena said. You killed the silver wolves. I saved us from extinction. Veron circled them like a predator. Silver wolves were destabilizing the natural order, challenging alphas, breaking pack bonds. In another generation, they would have destroyed everything wolves built. You were afraid, Mira realized. Afraid they'd expose what you really are. Veron's lips pulled back from fangs the size of daggers. I am evolution. I am what alphas become when they embrace their true nature, and silver wolves, pure, uncorrupted silver wolves, are the only thing that can kill me. That's why you wanted them dead, Cassian growled. That's why they had to die. All of them. Veron's gaze fixed on Mira. But it seems I missed one. A mistake I intend to correct. Right now. He lunged. Cassian met him mid-leap, teeth and claws clashing with brutal force. They crashed through bookcases, ancient texts exploding into dust. Elena grabbed Mira's arm. Run! I can't leave him. He's buying us time. Use it. But Mira's wolf was already emerging. Silver fur rippled across her skin. Her bones shifted, pain and power in equal measure. She'd hidden for 17 years. She was done hiding. Mira's wolf burst free, smaller than Veron, smaller than Cassian, but blazing with silver light that made the corrupted wolf recoil. Impossible, Veron snarled. You're too young to shift fully. Silver wolves take decades to. Mira hit him like lightning. Her teeth found his throat. Her claws found his flesh. Silver blood met corrupted darkness, and the reaction was explosive. Veron screamed a sound of pure agony. She's burning him, Elena shouted. The silver blood is purifying. Veron threw Mira off with devastating force. She hit the wall hard enough to crack stone. Her wolf form flickered, unstable. Not bad, Veron panted, but not enough. You're untrained, wild. You don't even know what you are. Cassian attacked again, but Veron was ready. Claws raked across the king's side, drawing blood. Mira struggled to stand. Her vision swam. Too much, too fast. She'd never fully shifted before, never let her wolf completely free. But Elena was right. She was a hunter. And she could smell it now, the corruption in Veron's blood. Old, ancient, wrong. Cassian, Mira shouted. His left shoulder. There's a wound there. Old wound. It never healed right. Cassian didn't question. He pivoted mid-attack, fangs sinking into exactly where Mira indicated. Viren howled, dark blood sprayed. The bond, Elena screamed. Use the mate bond. Silver wolves fight stronger when bonded. Mira didn't understand, didn't know how. But Cassian's eyes met hers across the destroyed library, and something clicked into place. The bond wasn't just attraction. It was power. Shared power. Their wolves recognized each other. completed each other. Mira let down every wall she'd built in 17 years. The bond snapped into place like a lightning strike. Power flooded through her Cassian's strength, his alpha dominance, his protective fury. And in return, she felt him receive her gifts, her silver blood purity, her hunting instincts, her desperate need to survive. They moved as one. Cassian went high, Mira went low. Teeth and claws and silver fire. Varan tried to fight back, but he was facing something he'd never encountered. A mated pair, Alpha and Silver Wolf. United. The corruption in his blood couldn't withstand it. Varan collapsed, still in wolf form, breathing hard. His red eyes dimmed to something almost normal. "You can't win," he rasped. "Even if you kill me. Lyanna has others. Ancient wolves, corrupted wolves, an entire network. Then we'll hunt them all," Mira said. Varan laughed, blood bubbling from his mouth. "Try. But know this, silver wolves were exterminated for a reason. Not because we feared you, because you were never meant to exist alongside us. One bloodline must dominate, and it won't be yours." His body convulsed once, twice, then he was gone. The library fell silent. Cassian shifted back to human form, naked and bleeding. Mira did the same, her body aching from the forced transformation. Elena threw them cloaks from somewhere, her expression awestruck. "That was," she trailed off. "You two just killed an ancient corrupted wolf. Together, like it was nothing." "It wasn't nothing," Mira said, collapsing. "I think I broke 3 ribs." Cassian caught her before she hit the ground. His touch sent sparks through the bond concern, relief, possessive need. "We need to move," Elena said. "If Varan had backup, he did." Lyanna's voice came from the destroyed doorway, but apparently not enough. The queen stood in the wreckage, surrounded by guards. But her expression wasn't triumphant. It was terrified. "You killed him," she whispered, staring at Varan's body. "You actually killed him. Do you have any idea what you've done? Saved your kingdom from a corrupted monster?" Cassian suggested. "Doomed us all." Lyanna's hands shook. "Varan wasn't just my advisor. He was the anchor, the only thing keeping the other ancient wolves in check. Without him, we're free," Elena said. "Without him, they'll come." Lyanna looked at Mira with something like pity. "Every corrupted wolf in the territories will hunt you now. You're the only silver wolf left, the only threat to their existence. They'll never stop, never rest, until you're dead." Mira straightened, still leaning on Cassian. "Let them come. You don't understand." "I understand perfectly. I've been hunted my entire life. 17 years of running, hiding, surviving." Silver light flickered across her skin. "I'm done running. If they want me dead, they can try. But I'm not alone anymore." She looked at Cassian. "At Elena." "At the bond blazing between them like silver fire." "None of us are," she said. Lyanna stared at them. "At the impossible trio, a corrupted queen, a dying princess, a mated pair that shouldn't exist." "Then gods help us all," she whispered, "because the war is just beginning." Chapter 5. The Bond Awakens. The hidden passages twisted deeper into the mountain's heart. Mira's ribs screamed with each breath. Cassian kept one arm around her waist, supporting her weight. Elena limped ahead, silver eye casting eerie light in the darkness. "Where are we going?" Mira asked. "Somewhere even Varan doesn't know about." Cassian's voice was rough, close. "My father showed me once, before he died." The proximity was torture. Every point where their bodies touched sent electricity through Mira's veins. Not pain, something worse. Something that made her want to stop running and press closer instead. The mate bond hummed between them like a living thing. "How much further?" Elena called back. 2 corridors, left at the fork. They moved through stone passages carved centuries ago. Pre-kingdom, pre-civilization. The walls bore markings Mira didn't recognize, ancient script, symbols that hurt to look at directly. "What is this place?" she asked. "The original wolf sanctuary, before the territories divided, before Alphas claimed dominance." Cassian's grip tightened on her waist. "My father believed wolves were different once, better." "What changed?" "Power. It always does. The passage opened into a circular chamber, large enough for 20 people, with a domed ceiling covered in more ancient symbols. But what caught Mira's attention was the books. Hundreds of them. Thousands. Stacked on stone shelves carved into the walls, piled on tables, some scattered across the floor as if someone had left in a hurry. A library, Elena breathed. A hidden library. Cassian released Mira reluctantly, moving to light torches along the walls. Firelight revealed the true scope. This wasn't just a library. It was an archive, a sanctuary of forbidden knowledge. My father spent years down here, he said quietly. After my mother died, he became obsessed, searching for something. I was 10 when he showed me this place. Made me swear never to tell anyone. Not even Liana, Mira finished. Especially not Liana. He pulled a book from a nearby shelf, dust cascading. He said her family had burned libraries like this, destroyed evidence of what wolves used to be. Elena grabbed another book, flipping pages with trembling hands. These are histories, pre-purge histories. Look, references to silver wolves as peacekeepers, mediators, not monsters. Mira moved deeper into the chamber, ignoring her protesting ribs. One section of shelving drew her like a magnet. The books there were older, bound in leather that had long since started crumbling. She pulled one down carefully. The title was barely legible. Asterisk. The Silver Bloodline. Origins and Purpose. Asterisk. Cassian, she called. You need to see this. He crossed to her in 3 strides. Too fast. Too close. The bond flared between them, and Mira saw his pupils dilate. Sorry, he muttered, stepping back. The bond is... I know. Her voice came out breathier than intended. It's getting stronger. Is that normal? Elena snorted from across the chamber. For silver wolves, nothing is normal. But bonding during crisis tends to accelerate things. Danger, proximity, shared purpose, it's like throwing gasoline on fire. Mira forced herself to focus on the book. She opened it, and silver script glowed faintly on the pages. It's written in silver ink, Cassian said. I've never seen anything like it. My grandmother used to write like this. The memory surfaced unbidden. Said it was the old way. That silver wolves could read it even in darkness. The text was dense, archaic, but comprehensible. Asterisk, silver wolves emerged not as mutation but as necessity. When the Alpha bloodline began to corrupt to value dominance over wisdom, power over purpose, the moon gifted us a balance. Silver blood to purify, silver wolves to challenge, to ensure no single bloodline could dominate unchecked. Asterisk. We were created as a check on alpha power, Mira read aloud. Not as a threat, as balance. Cassian leaned over her shoulder, reading. His breath ghosted across her neck. Keep going. Asterisk. But balance requires equality. And alphas, corrupted by their own dominance, could not accept equals. Thus began the first purge, not documented in history, not remembered by most. Only in silver blood does the memory remain. Asterisk. The first purge, Elena said. There was more than one? Mira turned pages. The silver script told a story of cycles silver wolves emerging, challenging corruption, being systematically hunted to near extinction, then rising again centuries later when the corruption grew too severe. We're not supposed to go extinct, Mira realized. We're supposed to survive, hide, wait for the corruption to reach critical mass. And then we purify it, forcibly if necessary. Cassian's hand found hers on the page. The touch sent shockwaves through the bond. How? The next page showed a diagram. 2 wolves, 1 silver, 1 alpha intertwined. Not fighting, united. Asterisk. The bond between silver and alpha creates a purification cascade. Silver blood cleanses corruption. Alpha power spreads that cleansing through pack bonds. United, they can heal an entire bloodline. Separated, both fail. Asterisk. Mate bonds, Elena whispered. That's what it means. Silver wolves bond with alphas to purify the bloodline from within. Which is why corrupted alphas wanted us dead, Mira said. We weren't just a threat to their power. We were existential threats to their existence. Cassian's grip on her hand tightened. My father bonded with a silver wolf. The words hung in the air like a revelation. Your mother, Mira breathed. Your mother was Silver Wolf. She died when I was 8. Hunting accident, they said. But she had silver in her eyes sometimes. When the moon was full, I thought it was just the light. His voice cracked. Elena has one silver eye. I thought it was random mutation. It's not mutation. Mira looked at Elena. You're half silver wolf. That's why the curse is killing you. Your body is trying to purify a bloodline that's been corrupted for generations. But you don't have enough silver blood to complete it. Elena's hand went to her chest. I'm dying because I'm trying to fix something too big for me alone. But you're not alone anymore. Cassian's eyes blazed. Mira's blood stabilized you. Even that small amount helped. Because she's full silver wolf, pure bloodline. Elena's expression shifted. If we complete the ritual properly, a howl shattered the moment. Not one howl, dozens. They found us, Mira said. Cassian moved to the chamber entrance, peering into the passages. Veron's guards. At least 20. Maybe more. How? This place is secret. Not secret enough. He turned back, face grim. We need to leave. Now. There's no other exit, Elena said. Father told me once, this chamber was designed as a last stand. One way in, one way out. Then we make our stand. Cassian began shifting, bones cracking, fur rippling. Wait, Mira grabbed his arm. The bond flared hot enough to hurt. Don't shift, not yet. They're coming? I know, but if you shift now, the bond will force me to shift too. And I'm not ready. I don't have control. She looked at Elena. Is there anything in these books about fighting while bonded? Elena frantically flipped through texts. Here. Bonded pairs fight as one mind, one purpose. The silver wolf leads the hunt. The alpha provides the strength. I don't know how to lead. You killed Veron. That was desperation. The howls grew closer. Footsteps thundered in the passages. Cassian cupped Mira's face, forcing her to meet his eyes. Listen to me. The bond works both ways. You feel my strength. I feel your instincts. We don't have to know how. We just have to trust. I've never trusted anyone. Trust me now. His lips crashed into hers. The kiss was desperate, claiming, and absolutely wrong for the moment. But the bond exploded between them like silver fire. Mira felt his power flooding through her veins, centuries of alpha dominance, pack leadership, raw strength, and he felt her hunting instincts honed by 17 years of survival. Silver blood singing with purification magic, desperation turned to determination. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard. Together, Cassian said. Together, Mira agreed. The first guard burst through the entrance. Cassian met him in human form, which surprised the wolf enough that his attack faltered. Cassian used that hesitation to snap his neck with brutal efficiency. 3 more poured in. Mira moved on instinct, silver claws extending from human hands. She'd never done that before, partial shift while maintaining human form. But the bond showed her how. She took down 1 guard. 2. Cassian fought like a force of nature beside her. They moved in perfect synchronization. When she ducked, he struck high. When he engaged, she flanked. The bond made them unstoppable. 10 guards dead in under 2 minutes. But more kept coming. There's too many, Elena shouted from behind a table. She was right. Even with the bond, even fighting perfectly together, they'd tire eventually. The guards just had to wait them out. A massive black wolf filled the entrance. Lord Veron, still alive, still hunting. Impressive, his voice rumbled. But ultimately futile. You can't fight what you don't understand. We understand enough, Cassian growled. You're corrupted, ancient, and scared of what Mira represents. Scared? Veron laughed. I orchestrated the extinction of her entire species. Why would I fear the last one? Because you know what she can do. Cassian moved closer to Mira, their shoulders touching. The bond hummed. You know that silver wolves bonded to alphas can purify corruption. And you've spent centuries accumulating power through corruption. She's your death sentence. Veron's red eyes fixed on Mira. Clever king. Yes, silver wolves are dangerous. But do you know why the purges succeeded? Because you had numbers. Because we had traitors. Veron's lips pulled back from fangs. Not all alphas wanted to be purified. Many preferred their corruption, their power, and they turned on the silver wolves themselves. Lyanna's family, Mira said. Among others, the Eastern Territories were particularly enthusiastic. They understood that purity meant weakness, corruption meant strength. Veron began circling. And they were promised rewards, territory, power, immunity from purification. That's why you married me to Lyanna, Cassian said. To bind me to a corrupted bloodline. To ensure I'd never seek purification. Exactly! Your father was getting too close to the truth, finding silver wolf descendants, planning to purify the bloodline. Veron's tone was almost admiring. The hunting accident was remarkably well executed. You killed my father. I killed a threat, as I've killed every threat for 300 years. Veron's eyes glowed brighter. And now I'll kill his son and the last silver wolf. Tragically, all at once. He lunged. But this time, Mira was ready. She'd been reading his movements, feeling through the bond how Cassian perceived threats, where Veron favored his left side, how his back leg was slightly weaker. Now, she shouted. Cassian shifted mid-dodge, his wolf form larger than before, strengthened by the bond. Mira shifted too, silver fur blazing. They hit Veron from opposite sides. The ancient wolf was powerful, yes, but he'd underestimated what the bond meant. Mira and Cassian weren't just fighting together, they were fighting as a single entity with two bodies. Every move Veron made, they countered before he completed it. Every opening he tried to exploit, they'd already closed. Silver blood and alpha power combined into something Veron had never faced before, a perfectly bonded pair. Impossible, he snarled, backing toward the entrance. You've bonded for less than a day. It takes decades to fight like this. Maybe for normal wolves, Mira said through the bond speak, but I'm not normal, and neither is he. They pressed the attack. Veron fought desperately, but his corruption was working against him. The silver blood burned wherever Mira's claws connected. The alpha power disrupted wherever Cassian struck. You'll never win, Veron howled. Even if you kill me, my network remains. Lyanna is already mobilizing. Guards loyal to corruption. You're surrounded. Then we'll fight them too, Cassian growled. But Mira felt it through the bond, his exhaustion, his fear for Elena, his desperate need to protect them both. They couldn't win this. Not here. Not surrounded. She made a decision. Elena, Mira shouted. The passage behind the third bookshelf. Can you move it? I think so. Do it. Cassian, we need to retreat. We can't leave Veron alive. We can't save anyone if we're dead. Cassian hesitated. The bond showed Mira his internal war pride versus pragmatism, alpha instinct versus king's wisdom. Stone ground against stone as Elena somehow shifted the bookshelf, revealing a narrow passage behind it. Now, Cassian. They broke from combat simultaneously, racing for the opening. Veron lunged after them, but Elena toppled the bookshelf. Tons of stone and ancient wood crashed down, blocking the entrance. Veron's enraged howl echoed behind them. They ran through darkness. Elena leading with her glowing silver eye, following passages that twisted impossibly deep. Where does this go? Cassian asked. I don't know. The books mentioned escape routes, but not destinations. The passage angled downward, steeper, rougher. Then it opened into a cavern so vast the torchlight couldn't reach the ceiling. And they weren't alone. Wolves surrounded them. Dozens of them. Hundreds. But not attacking. Waiting. An old female wolf stepped forward. Gray muzzle, scarred face, but eyes that glowed pure silver. She shifted to human form. An ancient woman, naked and unconcerned, covered in ritual scars. Granddaughter, she said, looking at Mira. You took long enough. Mira's world tilted. You're dead. They killed you. I saw. You saw what we wanted you to see. Silver wolves have been hiding in these mountains for centuries. Waiting. The old woman's gaze shifted to Cassian. And you brought an alpha. A bonded alpha. Well done. Who are you? Cassian demanded. I am Thera, first of the surviving silver wolves. And these, she gestured to the surrounding pack, are what remains of our bloodline. Not dead, not extinct, just waiting for the right moment to return. She smiled, all teeth. And I think that moment has finally come. Chapter 6, The Silver Prophecy. Mira stared at the woman who wore her grandmother's face. Impossible. She'd watched her grandmother die, seen the silver blood pooling on stone, heard the death rattle in her throat. You're not real, Mira whispered. I'm very real, child. Thera moved closer, silver eyes gleaming. What you saw 17 years ago was an illusion. Necessary, painful, but necessary. You let me think you were dead, Mira's voice cracked. I was 5 years old. I hid in that cellar for 2 days, thinking I was alone. You had to believe it. The hunters could smell lies, read body language. If they'd captured you and you'd known we survived, they would have tortured it out of you. Thera's expression softened. We couldn't risk it. Couldn't risk the colony. Cassian stepped forward, partially shifting into a protective stance between them. She was a child. She was silver wolf royalty. Varan would have used her to find us all. Thera's gaze raked over him. And you're the corrupted king who brought war to our doorstep. My bloodline is poisoned. I can smell it from here. Generations of corruption festering in your veins. Thera circled him like prey. Yet you've bonded with my granddaughter. Interesting. Elena stumbled forward, her silver eye blazing brighter. If you're going to kill us, just do it. I'm tired of threats. Kill you? Thera laughed. Child, you're half silver wolf. You're as much kin as threat. No, I'm not going to kill you. She looked at Mira. But we need to talk. About what you've done. About what comes next. The surrounding wolves shifted restlessly. Mira could see it now, variations of silver in their fur. Some pure like hers, others diluted with gray or white. A whole colony of survivors. How many? Mira asked. 43. Down from 300 before the purges. Thera's voice hardened. We've been rebuilding slowly, carefully, staying hidden while corrupted alphas tear the territories apart above us. And you've done nothing? Just hidden? We've survived. That is not nothing. Thera gestured to the cavern. Come. We have much to discuss. Your alpha needs medical attention, and my granddaughter needs truth. She led them deeper into the colony. The cavern system was extensive carved chambers, with living quarters, food storage, even a training ground. Silver wolves watched them pass with curiosity and suspicion. They've never seen an alpha before, Thera explained. At least, not a living one. Comforting, Cassian muttered. They entered a central chamber, lit by bioluminescent fungi. A stone table dominated the center, covered in maps and texts. Healers waited, elderly wolves with knowing eyes. Set him down, Thera ordered. Cassian collapsed onto a stone bench, finally allowing his exhaustion to show. The fight with Varan had taken more from him than he'd admitted. Blood soaked through his shirt from wounds that hadn't fully closed. Elena sat beside him, her hand finding his. You're hurt. I'm fine. You're dying, one of the healers said bluntly. Varan's claws were poisoned. Corruption, venom. It's spreading through your bloodstream. Mira's heart stopped. Can you heal him? We can slow it, but only silver blood can purify it completely. The healer looked at Thera. You know what this means. I know. What? Mira demanded. What does it mean? Thera pulled out an ancient scroll, unfurling it on the table. The text was silver script, glowing faintly. Prophecy. Old and absolute. Read it, Thera said. Mira's eyes scanned the text, her blood running cold with each word. Asterisk. When silver bonds with corrupted gold. Asterisk. Asterisk. The bloodline's truth shall be told. Asterisk. Asterisk. 3 drops of blood, 3 words of claim. Asterisk. Asterisk. Will either purify or end in flame. Asterisk. Asterisk. The bonded king must stand the test. Asterisk. Asterisk. His heart's corruption manifest. Asterisk. Asterisk. If pure in soul though poisoned blood. Asterisk. Asterisk. He'll rise renewed from silver flood. Asterisk. Asterisk. But if corruption runs too deep. Asterisk. Asterisk. Both souls shall fall to endless sleep. Asterisk. A mate bond completion ritual, Elena breathed. If Mira completes the bond with Cassian, it will test his bloodline. Test whether the corruption is in his blood or his soul. And if it's in his soul, Cassian asked quietly, then you both die, Thera said flatly. The bond will try to purify you. If you can't be purified, the silver blood will burn you from inside. And Mira, connected to you through the bond, will burn with you. Silence crashed through the chamber. Mira looked at Cassian. At the man she'd known for barely 3 days. The king who'd protected her. The alpha who'd risked everything for his sister. The mate her soul recognized despite all logic. There has to be another way, she said. There isn't. Not if you want to save him from Varan's poison. Thera's expression was granite. The corruption venom will kill him in 6 days. Maybe 7 if our healers work around the clock. The only cure is full purification. Then I'll do it. Mira, no, Cassian started. I'll do it, she repeated. Stronger. What do I need? Thera studied her granddaughter. You need to complete the bond. 3 drops of your blood. 3 words of claim. And absolute trust that his soul is worth saving. It is. You don't know that. You've known him days. You don't know what corruption lurks in his heart. I know enough. Do you? Thera's voice was sharp. Do you know that his father ordered the execution of 12 silver wolves before he found your mother? That Cassian's bloodline has been making deals with corrupted powers for 6 generations? That his great-grandfather personally led raids that slaughtered children? Each word hit like a physical blow. Cassian's face had gone white. I didn't know. Ignorance doesn't erase blood debt. Thera turned to him. Your family has silver wolf blood on their hands going back centuries. The prophecy will judge that. Will judge whether you carry their sins in your soul or just in your veins. And if I do? Cassian's voice was steady despite the fear in his eyes. If the corruption runs deeper than blood, then Mira dies with you, my last living relative, the future of our bloodline. Thera looked at Mira. So choose carefully, granddaughter. Is this man worth your life? Mira's mind raced. 3 days. That's all she'd known him. 3 days of chaos and violence and impossible attraction. But through the bond, she'd felt his soul. His desperation to save Elena. His guilt over his father's death. His trapped fury at a marriage that chained him. His genuine shock at discovering his family's crimes. She'd felt his heart. And it was good. Corrupted blood? Maybe. But pure soul? Yes, Mira said. He's worth it. Even if you're wrong? Even if you both burn? Even then. Thera's expression cracked slightly. Pride and fear mixing. You're as stubborn as your mother. Very well, but not tonight. Tonight we treat his wounds conventionally. Give you both time to prepare. The bonding ritual isn't something done lightly. She gestured to the healers. They moved to Cassian, stripping his shirt, revealing the full extent of his injuries. Deep claw marks across his ribs, blackened veins spreading from the wounds like poison ivy. It's worse than I thought, one healer muttered. How long does he have? Elena asked. 5 days. Maybe 6. Mira's chest tightened. 5 days to prepare for a ritual that might kill them both. The healers worked with efficient silence. Poultices and bandages, herbs that made Cassian grit his teeth against the pain. When they finished, his torso was wrapped completely, and he looked more vulnerable than she'd ever seen him. Rest, Thera ordered. All of you. Tomorrow, Mira trains. We need to strengthen her connection to her silver blood before the ritual. If she's weak, you'll both die regardless of his soul's purity. She left with the healers, leaving them alone in the chamber. Elena curled up on a stone bench, exhaustion claiming her instantly. Her breathing evened out, deeper and healthier than it had been in days. Being near Mira was healing her, slowly, incrementally. Proof that silver blood could purify. Mira sat beside Cassian. The bond hummed between them, quieter now but constant. You don't have to do this, he said quietly. Yes, I do. I'm not worth your life. Let me decide that. He caught her hand. His touch was warm despite the poison spreading through him. If the prophecy is right, if my soul is corrupt, it's not. You can't know that. I can feel it, through the bond. You're not like them, Cassian. Not like your father or your ancestors. She struggled for words. You're good, imperfect and trapped and angry, but fundamentally good. Good men don't let children die, don't look the other way while genocides happen in their kingdom. You were 17, manipulated, kept ignorant deliberately. Ignorance isn't innocence. Maybe not, but it's not damnation either. Mira squeezed his hand. The prophecy tests your soul, not your family's sins. And your soul is worth saving. Cassian looked at her with such intensity it hurt. How can you be sure? Because if you were truly corrupt, you wouldn't be questioning it, wouldn't feel guilt, wouldn't care about a dying sister or a hunted silver wolf. She smiled slightly. Corrupt souls don't agonize over their worthiness, they assume it. He laughed, broken and raw, then winced as the movement pulled his injuries. Rest, Mira said. We have 5 days. 5 days to either save the kingdom or doom us both. Optimistic. I like it. Despite everything, he smiled. Then his hand tightened on hers. Mira, if this goes wrong, if we burn, we won't. But if we do, know that these 3 days with you have been worth more than 8 years of that marriage. More than anything. His voice dropped. You gave me hope. Real hope. Not the desperate kind. The kind that actually believes in tomorrow. The words hit harder than they should. 3 days. She'd known him 3 days. But the bond made it feel like lifetimes. Don't say goodbye yet, she whispered. We haven't even tried to live. Then let's try. He pulled her closer despite the pain it caused. 5 days. Teach me about your world. Your life. Your 17 years of surviving. Why? Because if I'm going to be judged on my soul, I want my last thoughts to be of you, not my failures. Mira's throat tightened. She wanted to kiss him, wanted to complete the bond right now. Consequences be damned. But Thera was right. This required preparation, strength, certainty. Instead, she rested her head on his shoulder, careful of his wounds. The bond settled into something warm, comforting. Tell me, Cassian said, about the 5-year-old who survived 2 days in a cellar. How did she do it? So, Mira talked. About the darkness, the cold, the sounds of boots overhead. How she'd sung songs her mother taught her, so quietly only she could hear. How she'd counted heartbeats to stay sane. How, when the servant finally found her, she'd been so still the woman thought she was dead. Cassian listened, asked questions, shared his own stories, a childhood trapped in royal protocol. A mother who'd loved him fiercely before dying mysteriously. A sister he'd raised as much as protected. 2 broken people, talking in the dark. When sleep finally claimed them both, they were still holding hands. The bond between them glowed silver in the darkness. Thera woke Mira before dawn. Training starts now. Mira followed her grandmother to the training grounds, a massive cavern with smooth stone floors and walls scarred from centuries of practice. Show me your shift, Thera ordered. Mira shifted. Her silver wolf emerged smoothly now, strengthened by the bond with Cassian. Good. Now hold it while I attack. Thera shifted into a wolf larger than Mira expected, battle-scarred and powerful. She lunged. The training was brutal. Thera didn't hold back, didn't show mercy. She struck weak points, exploited hesitation, punished every mistake. Your blood is strong, but your control is weak, Thera snarled, knocking Mira down for the 5th time. Silver wolves don't just purify. We dominate, we challenge, we force submission through sheer presence. I don't know how. Then learn. Your mate's life depends on it. They trained until Mira's muscles screamed, until silver blood dripped from wounds that healed slower than they should. Again, Thera demanded. I can't. Again. Something inside, Mira snapped. Not broke, released. She surged forward with power she didn't know she possessed. Silver light blazed from her fur, so bright it cast shadows. She met Thera's next attack, and didn't just block it, she overwhelmed it. For the first time, her grandmother went down. Better, Thera panted, shifting to human form. That's what I needed to see. The alpha female inside you. Alpha female. Silver wolves don't submit to alphas. We match them, equal them. That's what makes the bond work. Mutual respect, mutual strength. Thera helped Mira up. If you go into that ritual as anything less than his equal, you'll both burn. The prophecy demands balance. Then I'll be his equal. Will you? Thera's gaze was piercing. Because completing the bond means more than ritual. It means claiming him as yours, being claimed in return. Can you do that? Can you let someone in after 17 years of survival alone? Mira thought of Cassian, of his hand in hers, of the bond that felt like coming home. Yes, she said, I can. Thera smiled. Then we continue. You have 4 days to become what you were born to be. 4 days to save your mate, and possibly our entire species. No pressure. Oh, there's pressure. Because Varan won't wait. He knows where we are now, knows we're harboring his greatest threat. Thera's expression darkened. War is coming, granddaughter, and you need to be ready to lead it. Mira looked at the silver blood dripping from her hands, at the colony of survivors around them, at the impossible weight of prophecy and destiny. Then let's get ready, she said. 4 days until the bonding ritual. 4 days until they either saved everything or lost it all. 4 days until Mira discovered if love found in chaos could survive the test of fire. Chapter 7. War at the Mountain's Edge. Day 1 of training left Mira's body screaming. Day 2 left her bleeding silver from wounds that took hours to heal. Day 3. She finally landed a hit that made Thera proud. You're learning, her grandmother said, wiping silver blood from her muzzle. Not fast enough, but learning. They trained in human form now. Hand-to-hand combat mixed with the silver wolf's natural advantages, enhanced speed, impossible reflexes, the ability to partially shift specific body parts. Your claws, Thera instructed. Extend them without full shift, just fingers. Mira concentrated. Silver claws emerged from her fingertips, gleaming and deadly. Good. Now maintain them while fighting. A younger silver wolf named Kale attacked. Mira blocked, countered, felt her claws slice through his defenses. He went down hard. Better, Thera allowed. Again. Between training sessions, Mira checked on Cassian. The healers had moved him to a private chamber carved into the mountain. Elena stayed by his side constantly, her silver eye growing brighter each day as proximity to Mira strengthened her own bloodline. How is he? Mira asked on the 3rd evening. Fighting. Elena didn't look away from her brother, the poison spreading slower than expected. Your presence helps even without the ritual. Mira could see it, black veins crawling up Cassian's neck, spreading from the wounds on his torso. But the progression had stalled where it touched areas the bond connected them. 2 more days, Cassian said, eyes opening. Then we do this. You should rest. I've been resting for 3 days. I'm going insane. He sat up carefully. How's training? Brutal. Thera doesn't believe in going easy. Good. You'll need every advantage. He swung his legs off the bed, wincing. I need to see the fortifications. If Varan attacks before the ritual, you need to stay down, Elena insisted. I'm still king, still alpha. I can't lead from a bed. The argument was interrupted by alarm bells. Not bells, howls, desperate and terrified. Thera burst into the chamber. They're here, Varan's forces. At least 200 wolves, maybe more. That's impossible, Cassian said. How did he mobilize that many? He didn't need to mobilize. He controls them. Thera's expression was grim. Corrupted wolves answer to him like drones. He's been building this army for centuries. Mira's blood ran cold. How long do we have? They'll reach the outer defenses in an hour, maybe less. Then we fight. Cassian stood, ignoring his injuries. What are our numbers? 43 silver wolves. 32 are combat capable. The rest are children or elderly. 32 against 200. Excellent odds. Silver wolves are worth 10 corrupted wolves each, Thera said, but those numbers are still impossible. Then we use strategy. Cassian moved to a map on the wall. The mountain passes. Can we bottleneck them? 3 main approaches. We can defend 2, but the 3rd is suicide. Elena finished. The eastern pass, too wide, too exposed. Then we collapse it. That would trap us inside, Mira said. Buying time is better than dying now. Cassian traced routes on the map. We hold the northern and southern passes, collapse the eastern, force Varan to commit to frontal assault where our advantages matter. Thera studied him. You've commanded battles before. Border skirmishes. Nothing this scale. He looked at Mira. But I know how to make corrupted wolves bleed. The colony mobilized with frightening efficiency. Silver wolves armored in leather and chain, carrying weapons forged from mountain silver. Mira had never seen her people prepared for war. They were beautiful and terrible in equal measure. You'll lead the southern pass, Thera told Mira. Kale will support you with his unit. I've never led anything. You're bonded to an Alpha King. You carry royal blood now. They'll follow you. Thera gripped her shoulder. Make them believe. Make them fight. Cassian appeared, dressed in borrowed armor that didn't quite fit. The black veins had spread to his jaw, but his eyes were clear, determined. Ready? He asked. No. You? Terrified. Let's go. They marched to the southern pass, a narrow gorge between sheer cliffs. Defensible, but only if they held the line. Mira positioned her wolves, 12 of them. Looking to her for leadership she didn't know how to give. Listen, she said. I'm not a warrior. I'm not a leader. I've spent my life hiding, not fighting. They stared at her. Waiting. But I'm done hiding, and I'm done letting corrupted wolves decide who lives and who dies. Her claws extended. They think we're extinct. Let's show them we're very much alive. A howl went up from her unit, then another, building into a war cry that echoed off the mountains. The bond flared. Cassian's presence wrapped around her like armor. You're a natural, his voice came through the bond speak. They'll die for you. I'd rather they live. Then make them fight smart, not hard. The first corrupted wolves appeared at the pass entrance, red eyes glowing, moving in perfect synchronization, too perfect. Varan's control was absolute. Hold, Mira ordered. They advanced. 50 wolves, maybe more. Hold. Closer. She could smell their corruption now. Sulfur and rot. Now. Her unit attacked as one. Silver met corruption with devastating impact. The corrupted wolves fought well, but they fought like drones, predictable, mechanical. Silver wolves fought like they had something to lose. Mira cut through 3 corrupted wolves before the first of her unit fell. Kale, the young wolf who'd sparred with her, throat torn out, dead before he hit the ground. Rage flooded through her. Silver fire blazed from her claws. Push forward. They drove the corrupted wolves back. Bodies piled at the pass entrance, mostly corrupted, but too many silver among them. Mira! Elena's voice rang out. The northern pass is collapsing. Cassian's unit is retreating. Tell them to fall back to second position. But the corrupted wolves kept coming. Wave after wave. Endless. We can't hold, one of her wolves shouted. He was right. They were being overwhelmed by sheer numbers. Then a new howl split the air. Different. Familiar. A white wolf emerged from the chaos, smaller than the corrupted drones, but moving with purpose. Intelligence. Liana. She attacked the corrupted wolves from behind, confused them, created an opening. What is she doing? Mira breathed. Helping, Elena said, appearing beside her. She's actually helping. The corrupted wolves turned on Liana instantly. She fought desperately but was outnumbered. Mira made a decision she'd regret or celebrate later. Cover the queen. Her unit moved, forming a protective circle around Liana. The white wolf looked shocked but didn't question it. Together, they pushed back the assault. When the last corrupted wolf fell, the pass was silent, except for labored breathing. Liana shifted to human form, naked and covered in wounds. We need to talk, she said. Now. They gathered in a makeshift command post. Mira, Cassian, Elena, Thera, and Liana, wrapped in borrowed furs. This is a trap, Thera said immediately. It's not. Liana's voice was hollow. I have nothing left to gain from trapping you. Varan took everything. Explain, Cassian demanded. My family is dead, all of them. Mother, father, brothers, cousins. Varan slaughtered them 3 days ago. Liana's hands shook. I thought we had an alliance. Thought he needed our territory, our resources. But he just needed our loyalty long enough to build his army. Why should we believe you? Mira asked. Because I'm about to tell you something that will get me killed if Varan wins. Lyanna met their eyes. He's not just ancient, he's immortal. Body-jumping immortal. Silence. Explain, Cassian said. Every 100 years, Varan's body fails. Too much corruption, too much power. So he transfers his consciousness to a new vessel. Usually a young alpha. Strong, malleable. Lyanna's gaze fixed on Elena. He's already chosen his next host. Elena went pale. No. Your silver eye. The corruption in your bloodline. You're half alpha, half silver wolf. The perfect vessel. If he possesses you, he'll have access to both bloodlines. He'll be unstoppable. How do you know this? Thera demanded. Because I helped him prepare. Helped him weaken Elena over 4 years, making her dependent on constant care, making her accessible. Shame-colored Lyanna's voice. I thought I was securing my family's future. Instead, I was signing their death warrants. Cassian moved toward her with deadly intent. You've been poisoning my sister for 4 years? Not poison, suppression, keeping her wolf dormant, so Varan could study the bond between her bloodlines. But when you brought Mira in, everything changed. The silver blood started healing her, waking her wolf, ruining his plans. That's why the ritual was sabotaged, Mira realized. He couldn't let Elena be cured. Exactly. And now he's out of time. His current body is failing faster than expected. He'll attempt the possession during this battle, during the chaos. Then we lock Elena away, Thera said, deep in the mountain where he can't reach her. It won't work. The possession doesn't require proximity. Once he's close enough to sense her, he can transfer from anywhere within a mile. Lyanna looked at Elena. I'm sorry, for all of it. I thought I was protecting my family. I was just feeding them to a monster. Elena's silver eye blazed. How do we stop him? You can't. Not without completing the bonding ritual with Mira. The silver alpha bond is the only thing powerful enough to purify possession magic. The ritual takes hours, Cassian said. We don't have hours. Then you need to buy time. Lyanna stood. I'll help. I'll lead Varan's forces away from the mountain. Make him think you're retreating to the Western Territories. That's suicide. I'm dead anyway. Might as well make it count. Mira studied the broken queen. Saw genuine remorse. Desperate hope for redemption. There's another way, Mira said slowly. We use Elena as bait. Absolutely not, Cassian growled. Listen, Varan needs to get close for the possession. We let him think he's won. Let him approach for the transfer. Then I intervene. How? I offer myself instead. Mira looked at her grandmother. Silver wolves can resist possession longer than normal wolves, right? In theory. But Varan is ancient, powerful. He'll overwhelm you in minutes. Then you have minutes to complete the bonding ritual. Mira turned to Cassian. Thera said it requires 3 drops of blood and 3 words of claim. That's fast. We can do fast. If you're possessed when we bond, then your alpha power flows into me, strengthens me, gives me a chance to fight him from within. Or kills you both, Thera said flatly. Better than letting him take Elena. The chamber fell silent. I'll do it, Elena said quietly. I'll be the bait. If Varan wants me, let him try to take me. Elena. I've been dying for 4 years, Cassian. At least this way, I die fighting. Her silver eye met Mira's. And if this works, maybe I finally live. A massive howl split the air outside. Closer than before. He's here, Lyanna whispered. Varan's here. They rushed to the observation point. Below, in the valley, an army of corrupted wolves had assembled. Hundreds, maybe thousands. And at their center, a massive black wolf that dwarfed all others. Varan, his red eyes fixed on the mountain. On them. Come out, little silver wolf! His voice boomed, magnified by ancient magic. Come face judgment for killing my human vessel. Face the consequences of resurrection. What's he talking about? Mira asked. The library, Cassian breathed. When we killed his physical body, we didn't kill him. We just forced him into his true form, which means he's vulnerable, Thera realized. Without a proper vessel, he's exposed. That's why he's rushing the possession. Then we end this now. Mira shifted, silver fur blazing in the moonlight. Elena, get in position. Cassian, prepare the ritual. Everyone else hold the line until we finish this. Mira, Cassian grabbed her arm. The bond flared between them. If this goes wrong, it won't. But if it does, know that you saved me long before any ritual. You made me remember what it means to hope. She wanted to say something profound, something worthy of what might be their last moment. Instead, she kissed him, hard and desperate, and full of 3 days' worth of impossible feelings. Don't let me die possessed by that bastard, she said against his lips. Never. She pulled away and ran toward the valley, toward Veron, toward a battle that would either save them all or doom them completely. Behind her, she felt Cassian's presence through the bond. Steady, strong, terrified but trusting. Together, she whispered. Together, he echoed. The final battle had begun. Chapter 8. Silver Fire. Mira reached the valley floor as Veron's army parted like a dark sea. The massive black wolf waited at the center, even larger than before, corruption radiating from him in visible waves. His red eyes tracked her approach with ancient hunger. Bold, Veron rumbled. Foolish, but bold. You come to surrender? I come to end this. Mira's silver fur blazed brighter. You want a vessel? Try me. Veron laughed, the sound like grinding stone. You think I'd waste centuries of preparation on you? I want the half-breed, the one who carries both bloodlines perfectly balanced. You'll have to go through me first. Gladly. He lunged with impossible speed. Mira barely dodged, his jaws snapping where her throat had been. She countered with silver claws, raking across his flank. The corrupted flesh sizzled where her claws connected. Veron howled in pain and rage. Silver blood burns, he circled her, more cautious now. But burning isn't killing. You're too weak, little wolf. Too young, too... Elena stepped from the mountain entrance. Her silver eye blazed like a star. Her human form was wrapped in simple white, making her look like a sacrifice. Which, Mira realized with horror, she was meant to be. Here I am, Veron, Elena called. The vessel you want. Come take me. Elena! No! Cassian's roar echoed from the mountain. But Veron was already moving. Not toward Elena, directly toward Mira. He hit her like an avalanche, driving her into the ground. His jaws closed around her throat. Not to kill, to possess. Black smoke poured from his mouth into hers, choking, burning, invading. Mira felt him entering her mind like poison. Ancient, powerful, overwhelming. Asterisk, foolish child, asterisk. His voice echoed in her skull. Asterisk, did you think you could resist me? I've conquered thousands. You're nothing. Asterisk. But Mira had spent 17 years surviving impossible odds. Had learned to fight not with strength, but with cunning. She didn't resist. She times-absorbed asterisk. Drew his consciousness deeper into her mind, into the parts of herself forged by trauma and loneliness and desperate survival. Asterisk. What are you doing? Asterisk. Veron's presence faltered. Learning. Mira's voice came from her physical body, distorted. Her silver fur was darkening, corruption spreading like ink in water. Learning what you really are. She saw his memories flooding through her, centuries of them, millennia. A young silver wolf named Veron, pure once, devoted to protecting the balance between alphas and silver bloodlines. Then corruption, a curse taken voluntarily to gain power, to better protect his people. Power that twisted him, changed him, made him immortal and monstrous. He destroyed what he'd tried to save. You were like me once, Mira whispered through changing jaws. You were Silver Wolf. You were times good, asterisk. Asterisk, I was weak. I chose power. I chose asterisk. You chose wrong. And you've been running from that choice for 3,000 years. Her body convulsed, bones cracking, reforming, growing larger, monstrous. On the mountain, Cassian felt it through the bond. Mira's agony, her consciousness being overwhelmed. The ritual! Thera shouted. Now! Elena grabbed his arm. She's dying. You have to bond with her before Varan takes complete control. If I bond with her while she's possessed, then your alpha power flows into both of them. It might be enough. Elena shoved a ritual blade into his hand. 3 drops of blood. 3 words of claim. Do it. Cassian cut his palm. Alpha blood gold, not red, dripped onto the ritual stone Thera had prepared. But he couldn't say the words, couldn't complete the bond while Mira was being destroyed. Below, Mira's body had transformed into something nightmarish. Twice the size of a normal wolf, fur black as midnight with silver veins fighting for dominance beneath. Her eyes flickered between silver and red. Mira, Cassian's voice cracked. Fight him! I know you're still in there. Asterisk. She's gone. Asterisk. Varan's voice came from the monstrous wolf. Asterisk. This body is mine now. And soon, the half-breed will be too. Asterisk. The creature turned toward Elena. Cassian's world narrowed to a single choice. Trust or kill. Save Mira by completing the bond and possibly empowering Varan. Or kill her possessed body and guarantee Varan's destruction along with hers. The mate bond pulsed weakly. Still there. Still times her asterisk. I trust you, Cassian whispered. He raised the blade and spoke 3 words that would either save everything or doom them all. I claim you. His alpha power exploded through the bond like a tidal wave. Inside Mira's mind, Varan had nearly won. His consciousness wrapped around hers like chains, crushing her resistance. She was too young, too inexperienced. He'd conquered thousands. What was one more? Then golden light flooded through her. Asterisk. Cassian. Asterisk. The mate bond had completed. His alpha power poured into her centuries of bloodline authority, pack dominance, the accumulated strength of generations. But it wasn't just power. It was times him, asterisk. His trust, his faith, his absolute certainty that she could win. Asterisk. Impossible. Asterisk. Varan recoiled. Asterisk. He completed the bond? While I'm possessing you? The fool has doomed you both. Asterisk. No. Mira's voice echoed in the mindscape. He's given me exactly what I need. She grabbed Varan's consciousness with mental hands forged from alpha, gold, and silver fire. You wanted both bloodlines? Here they are. The purification began. Not gently, not kindly, like fire through infection. Mira's silver blood, amplified by Cassian's alpha power, burned through 3,000 years of accumulated corruption. Varan screamed, a sound of pure agony that echoed both mentally and physically. In the valley, the monstrous wolf convulsed. Black smoke poured from its mouth, its eyes, its wounds. The corrupted army surrounding them began to collapse. Varan's control breaking. It's working, Elena shouted. The bond is purifying him. But inside Mira's mind, Varan was fighting back with desperate fury. Asterisk. I won't die. I've survived millennia. I am eternal. Asterisk. Nothing corrupted is eternal, Mira said. You taught me that when you slaughtered my family, when you twisted yourself into a monster, corruption always dies eventually. But you don't have to. She showed him what she'd seen in his memories. The young silver wolf he'd been. Idealistic, pure, fighting to protect balance, not dominate it. This is who you were, who you could be again. Asterisk. Impossible. Too much corruption. Too many years. Asterisk. Nothing is impossible with silver fire. She didn't just purify the corruption. She found the core of him, the original Varan, buried under millennia of twisted choices. And she purified times toward times that the transformation was explosive. In the physical world, the monstrous wolf began to shrink. Black fur turned silver. Red eyes faded to amber. The creature that had been nightmare became a wolf. Just a wolf, silver and gold mixed, breathing hard but alive. Mira's consciousness separated from Varan's. The possession broke. She collapsed in her own body, battered, bleeding. But times herself asterisk. Beside her, a silver wolf she didn't recognize struggled to stand. Smaller than before. Confused. Terrified. What? The voice was Varan's but without the ancient malice. What did you do to me? Saved you, Mira panted. Or destroyed you, depending on your perspective. The wolf looked at his paws, at the silver fur, at the corrupted army around them that had collapsed into unconscious heaps. I was going to possess the half-breed. Going to... Horror crept into his voice. What have I done? 3,000 years of... Yeah, we'll have time to process your existential crisis later. Mira forced herself to stand. Right now, you're going to help us. Help you? You controlled those corrupted wolves. I purified you, but they're still corrupted, still dangerous. Can you reach them? Break the corruption? The silver-gold wolf Varan reborn closed his eyes, concentration rippling through him. One by one, the collapsed wolves began to change. Black fur lightening, red eyes fading, corruption burning away in silver fire that spread through whatever mental network had connected them. It's working, Thera called from the mountain. The corrupted wolves are purifying, but the cost was visible. Varan's body trembled with effort. This much purification, this fast, was killing him. Stop, Mira said. You'll die. Good. Varan's voice was fading. I deserve to die. For what I've done. For what I was. Dying is easy. Living with what you've done and choosing better, that's hard. I can't undo 3 millennia of, then spend whatever time you have left making amends. Mira placed a paw on his shoulder. You were a protector once. Be one again. Varan looked at her. Really looked. Saw not an enemy but someone offering impossible grace. Why? He whispered. Why save me? Because that's what silver wolves do. We purify. We heal. Even when it hurts. The last corrupted wolf purified. Varan collapsed, barely breathing. Healers, Mira called. We need... Cassian's scream cut through everything. Mira ran up the mountain faster than physics should allow. Burst into the ritual chamber to find Cassian on the ground, convulsing. The bonding had completed. But the purification hadn't stopped with Varan. It was purifying times, Cassian asterisk. His bloodline, Thera shouted. The corruption in his bloodline is being forced out. He's dying. Black veins covered Cassian's entire body. His eyes had rolled back. Blood corrupted black. Blood poured from his nose, his mouth, his ears. No! Mira collapsed beside him. No! 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 I saved Varan! I purified. Too much! Elena grabbed her shoulders. You channeled too much purification power. It's cascading through the bond into Cassian's bloodline. You have to stop it. I don't know how. Then learn. Mira grabbed Cassian's hand. The bond was there stronger than ever but burning like acid. His alpha power was being purified. Every corruption his ancestors had accumulated, generations of twisted deals, dark magic, corrupted strength, all burning away at once, killing him. I'm sorry, Mira whispered. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean. Asterisk, don't apologize. Asterisk, Cassian's voice came through the bond, weak but steady. Asterisk, this is what I needed, what my bloodline needed. Asterisk, it's killing you. Asterisk, then hold me together. That's what the bond is for, to balance us. Asterisk, I don't know if I can. Asterisk, you purified a 3,000-year-old corrupted wolf. You can hold me through this. Asterisk. Mira closed her eyes, felt through the bond, found where Cassian's consciousness was fragmenting under the purification's assault. She wrapped herself around him. Not physically, mentally, spiritually, became his anchor while his bloodline burned. Hours passed, or minutes. Time lost meaning. Cassian screamed, convulsed, bled corruption that smoked when it hit air. But Mira held on, felt his ancestors' sins burning away, felt 6 generations of darkness being scoured from his blood, felt his alpha power emerging times, pure times for the first time in centuries. I've got you, she whispered, over and over. I've got you. You're not alone. I've got you. Dawn broke. The purification slowed, then stopped. Cassian lay still, too still. No, Mira breathed. No, you survived. You have to have. His eyes opened. Pure amber. New corruption. new darkness. Just him. Did we win? He croaked. Mira laughed and cried simultaneously. You ridiculous man! Yes! We won! Elena collapsed beside them, sobbing in relief. Her own silver eye blazed brighter than ever. The proximity to the purification had completed her own healing. You're both idiots, she said through tears. Beautiful, heroic idiots. Thera appeared in the doorway. The corrupted army has surrendered. Varan is alive, barely, and apparently reforming. The mountain passes are secure. She smiled. A rare, genuine smile. We actually won. Mira helped Cassian sit up. His body was covered in scars where the corruption had burned out, but they were healing. Fast. Pure alpha bloodline regeneration. How do you feel? She asked. Like, I died, and came back. He touched her face. You saved me. Again. You saved yourself. I just held on. That's all I needed. Their kiss was witnessed by her grandmother, his sister, and approximately 30 silver wolves who'd crowded into the chamber. Someone started howling in celebration. Then everyone joined in. The sound echoed through the mountains. Not a war cry, not a mourning song. Victory. Hope. Future. 3 days later, they held council in the Great Cavern. Silver wolves and reformed alphas, the corrupted wolves who'd been purified, were slowly regaining their individual consciousnesses. Some stayed, some left. All were offered choice for the first time in years. Varan, in his new silver-gold form, sat in the corner. Silent, haunted, but alive. Liana stood before them, cleaned and bandaged, but broken. I came to offer formal surrender. My territories are yours. My title is forfeit. I only ask. We don't want your territories, Cassian said. We want alliance. Liana blinked. What? Your family is gone. Your power base destroyed. But you know the Eastern Territories. You know how the corrupted networks operated. He looked at Mira. We're going to need people who understand the old system if we're going to build something better. You're offering me a position? We're offering you redemption, if you want it. Liana looked at Mira. Why? After everything I did. Because Mira believes in second chances, Cassian said. And I trust her judgment. Also, Mira added, you saved our lives during the battle. That counts for something. Liana's eyes filled with tears. I'll do better. I swear it. I'll start by helping us dismantle the hierarchies your family built. No more alpha dominance. No more corrupted bloodlines ruling through fear. What would replace them? Partnership. Mira stood, moving beside Cassian. Silver wolves and alphas working together. Equals. That's what we were supposed to be from the beginning. The council chamber erupted in discussion. Some supported it. Others thought it impossible. Thera silenced them with a single howl. My granddaughter speaks truth. The old ways brought us to extinction's edge. Time for new ways. She looked at Mira and Cassian. But who leads this new order? Who ensures the balance? We do, Mira said. Together. You want to be queen? Someone laughed. You've been hiding 17 years. What do you know about ruling? She knows about surviving, about adapting, about finding strength in impossibility. Cassian's hand found hers, and she's bonded to a king. That makes her queen whether she wants the title or not. I don't want the title, Mira said. I want the work. I want to rebuild what was destroyed, bring silver wolves back from exile, create a world where no one has to hide what they are. Then you'll have it. Thera smiled, with the council's support. And mine. The vote was unanimous. 3 weeks later, Mira stood in the palace throne room. Renovated now. The old symbols of alpha dominance removed, replaced with imagery of balance. Silver and gold intertwined. Cassian beside her, wearing a crown that looked uncomfortable. Elena nearby, healthy and whole, wearing her title of princess with new confidence. Liana in the crowd, titleless but present, working, atoning. And throughout the palace, in the territories, slowly trickling back from centuries of hiding silver wolves, returning home. Ready? Cassian asked quietly. For what? This, he gestured to the crowd, to the responsibility, to the future. No, but let's do it anyway. They stepped forward together. Partners. Equals. Something new. The ceremony was brief. Elena spoke the words of binding, not marriage in the old sense, but partnership, alliance, shared purpose. When it was done, the crowd howled approval. Mira felt the weight of it, the responsibility, the impossible task ahead. But she also felt Cassian beside her, felt the bond steady and strong, felt her grandmother's pride and Elena's joy. Felt, for the first time in 17 years, like she belonged somewhere. 2 months later, Mira woke feeling wrong. Not sick, not injured, just different. She made it to the bathroom before throwing up. Cassian found her there, concerned. What's wrong? I don't know. I feel... She paused, listened. There. Faint but distinct. A second heartbeat. Inside her. No. 2 heartbeats. Cassian, she breathed. I'm pregnant. His face cycled through shock, joy, terror. We didn't. I mean, we did, but eloquent. He pulled her close. This is good. This is amazing. The heartbeats shifted, changed rhythm. 1 beat silver, 1 beat gold, both beating in perfect synchronization but distinctly different. Cassian. Mira's hand went to her stomach. I think the baby has both bloodlines. Fully, not half and half like Elena. Fully silver and fully alpha, both at once. Is that possible? I don't think it's ever happened before. They stared at each other, the implications crashing down. A child with both bloodlines completely. Neither corrupted, neither dominant. Perfectly balanced. This changes everything, Cassian whispered. Or it changes nothing. We won't know until they're born, until we see what they become. Mira felt the dual heartbeat again. Strong, healthy, impossible. Hope or danger? She asked quietly. Why not both? Cassian smiled. After everything we've survived, I think we can handle 1 baby. You haven't been pregnant before. Don't make assumptions. He laughed. Then sobered. Whatever comes, whatever this means, we face it together. Together, Mira agreed. She looked out the window at the kingdom they were rebuilding. At silver wolves walking freely beside alphas. At a future that was uncertain but no longer dictated by corruption and fear. At a world where her child could be both silver and gold without choosing one or losing the other. Hope, she decided. It's hope. Has to be. Then hope it is. The dual heartbeat pulsed. Silver and gold. Fire and strength. Balance. The future. Unknown but waiting. And for the first time in her life, Mira wasn't afraid of what came next. She was ready. Asterisk asterisk, the end. Asterisk asterisk. Asterisk epilogue note. 6 months later, Mira gave birth to twins. A boy with silver eyes and a girl with gold. Both healthy, both powerful. Both carrying bloodlines that should have been impossible. The prophecies about them would come later. The challenges they'd face were unwritten. But on that day, as Mira held her impossible children, all that mattered was that they were loved, protected, and free to become whatever they chose. The rest, as always, would come with time. Asterisk.